Welcome back. Thank you for joining us on Blacklight on Sports.
Oh yeah.
My name is Charles Hallman,
I'm Dr.MitchellPalmerMcDonald.
and tonight we have a young man who works vil- diligently behind the scenes, but you will know him if you go to a Gopher game or to a Timberwolves game or to a Lynx game or a
Gophers
Twins
game,
game.
Twins game.
Uh,
All of it.
he whatever he's working those games, but you don't see him, but he is very instrumental in those games. Tramon Van Leer.
Thank you, Charles.
I'm glad that you joined us tonight.
Of course.
Very good to have you.
I wish we could have recorded all the off record banter.
No, that's okay. We can do that's no, that's fine. That's why it's off camera. Okay.
Talk about off camera. That's
That's
good stuff right there.
You are you are, believe it or not, and we're gonna be serious a little bit, is that the job that you do, there's very few blacks that's doing that. And that you are, so if you we know you, and we see you working, but for our listeners and our viewers, talk about the job that you do at a particular game. Pick a Twins game, Wolves game, a Gopher game.
Well, the biggest one that I kind of like hang my hat on is at the Twins, because that's how I got my start. So like being in video production, being a freelance production, sports production, it's kind of like live production goes by really chaotic,
Mhm.
really really fast. So it's like just learning on the fly. I was in radio first, so the way I got into it was kind of like on a whim by a friend, and then that turned into like, hey, you want to run this battery down, or you want to operate this RoboCam and things like that. And yes, most of the spaces are operated by white men, and they're trying to make it more diverse. And so just getting in the door obviously was the first step, but I kind of took the back way to get into it. Most people like go through school, and I didn't. I kind of just met somebody that met somebody at the Twins, and then from there I just kind of like waited my turn. Just acted like an intern, but for about 6 years until I got my opportunity to be on camera, being on the hard cameras, which are the cameras on the tripods that the baseballs are flying by your head, and I'm on low third base, like what am I doing? What am I looking out for? And then just experiencing the baseball game from that standpoint is very very different. And then from there, it kind of turned into like we specialize in fan engagement. So as much as the game matters,
Mhm.
I'm on the in-house crew, and
Yeah.
so that is everybody that's inside the building. We're trying to keep them engaged, no matter what the score is, and no matter what team is playing. We're still got to keep the fans engaged, and so I like to say I'm on fan control a little bit. I like to, joke around a lot. I like to, create a party scene if I can, or it's whatever my director is telling me that they need for that moment. And so, which that turns into, I need your face for Mongo Cam. I need you to dance real quick, because for that little moment that we have, that little break,
Yeah.
for the Twins, mid inning breaks kind of turn into a little small party, or maybe a small commercial that we need to, hey, Mountain Dew or whatever it is, So that's what we kind of specialize in. I just kind of stay ready. And that also kind of just turns into like, off the cuff pandemonium, I guess you can say. I work different events, basketball. I love basketball, so we shoot a lot more of the game of that. But still, when there's timeouts, I still jump up quick out of my crisscross applesauce and still, shoot fans that are engaged and are happy. So that's a little bit what it is.
I'm always curious at the Twins game. They always have that scenario where they pick the celebrities look like.
Oh man.
Who decides how they
Man.
do that?
Do I got to give the
And
speaker?
no, well, you just tell how that works.
It's really simple. It's just us in a room. As soon as the gates open and people sit down and they're sitting in their seats, that's the main thing. And so, fans kind of get there early. Hey, we got to get here, get to our seats. And they sit down, and there's a lot of people in the room that I won't say we make fun of people. Man, you look like, hey, hold on, it's Jones, and it's just the exact same thing that we do. It turns into a big thing because sometimes it gets sponsored. So
Mm.
now it's like really, really serious. So we do got to get 10 people that look like somebody. There's a lot of people in our control room, especially at the Twins, but it happens all across America and everywhere else. But at the Twins, it's just a group of people upstairs are like, hey, this person sitting down at this angle with these glasses on. This guy looks like whatever. Sometimes we try to keep it real light. We don't want to make fun of people too much. But no, sometimes we play on characters from the past, new, present, some people that you don't know. But a lot of it is just making fun of people when they sit down in their seats. And, we, mark it down. All right, we're going to come back to them in 30. Are they still sitting there? Right. All right, get them.
And this is for Twins games?
This is for Twins games. It's sponsored by I can't remember who the sponsor is, but
the Nicollet. Ain't that the
it changes every year, but it's one of the biggest hits where people do stop and they recognize, like, wait, I gotta laugh at this.
Any like memorable funny moments?
Oh my gosh, there's been a lot because we use a lot of cartoon characters, so a lot of times you'll get like, this person looks like Homer Simpson. I can't think of all of them, but there is some moments where we kind of cut pretty close. The Drew Carey show had that woman on. I forgot her name.
Yeah, that had the funny glasses on.
Yes, they had the funny
And we put one woman on, and she did not like that, and the whole stadium erupted, and you could tell that she was mad. She probably sent an email. So it's like those little things are like funny to us, but you can't be like making fun of the fans so much. But those are the big ones. There's like, that's hilarious. That's the ones we try to kind of, there's a little thin line that we kind of skate back.
Now, were there any moments where the fans were that you can remember, where the fans were engaged?
Yes, a lot of times it's the drunk people. They're like, "That is totally me, man." I don't know specifically, but
Right.
A lot of times I put my camera down there because I'm on like a handheld, and so it's really difficult for me to like, hey, sit right here until the third inning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I lose the element of surprise of like putting the camera on you, like, hey, unless I do like think somebody looks at it, just like stay right here. A lot of times it's from our hard cameras. And those are the people that kind of get surprised, like, "Hey, you're on the big screen," and they kind of look up, like, "Hey, that is me." But I don't know off the top though.
No, I know they resumed Kiss Cam because they did stop that.
Yes, we did. Yes,
for during the pandemic, and then for a couple years
after
that they weren't doing that. But now I see you resume.
Every once in a while, we'll have it on our script. A lot of times, it's reserved. There is going to be a proposal, but
I've been noticing that.
Yes. So it's a good lead up to a proposal, but sometimes we do it off the cuff. We have slowly implemented back into our game, and people love it. I kind of forgot how much people do love Kiss Cam, especially on those Friday nights when say that liquor's pouring.
Did you have any moments like what happened at the Coldplay concert?
Not me personally. I know my other camera buddies have had people like awkwardly said no, and we kind of had to keep rolling. That's probably it. To me, it doesn't happen too often for me, though. Not for me, personally.
Now, I know you talked a little bit about it, what you did. How did you get into what you're doing? I mean, what what was your journey? Did you always want to do this, or did it just kind of, happen?
Well, I started interning at B96, the radio station. Back in 2007, with Miss Shannon, Tony Fly, B Right, just going in the morning show, doing this exactly thing, just talking in the microphone, just learning how to run a radio show. That turned into, I don't know if you guys remember on the CW, we actually turned it into a TV show.
I remember that.
And it was a late night, 10:30, and we were just trying to make a little TV show. So I had this little tiny little handy cam. It was like this small, and it was a nice little setup. And Greg Coleman, he was our director, and then my Dan Edwards, he's our producer back there. And so we always just having fun making this TV show, and that actually turned into friend Dan Edwards. He was working at the Twins at the time. Like, hey, you're doing camera for this. You want to do camera at the Twins? And I'm thinking, sure, it can't be hard in this little handy cam. And it's really the big bazookas. Like, oh, so going from radio, it's the same media, but going from that media to sports was totally different. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, so they allowed me to learn at the Twins, and just kind of learn how to operate through sports production, because it's all live. When things go bad, how fast can you fix it? How fast can you do this? And I just kind of learned how to like operate the cameras, learn how to set them up, take them down, and know what needs fixing. and things like that. I never thought 100 years I would be doing that. I love
Mhm.
sports, and it makes total sense because I would be at home watching sports anyways, and so it's kind of an easy job for me to like sit back and be at a playoff game, courtside watching the game while I'm working.
Was there anything else that you wanted to do before that?
Radio was really it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was kind of like I was kind of headed. I thought I was gonna be, the hip hop radio head in the Twin Cities.
Mm-hmm.
Come on down to blank blank blank. But it didn't. Hip hop doesn't do too well in the Twin Cities.
Right.
Like so the support of it, the new music, and so when B96 kind of like fluctuated a little bit, was changing hands, I needed something to do, and that was kind of a perfect transition.
Mhm.
And then just meeting people. I ended up at the Timberwolves, ended up at the Gopher games, which ended up, soccer stadiums, the hockey stadiums. Just kind of like been doing that for the past 11 years, it sounds like, I believe, if I can do the math.
Now, is there different emphasis depending on what team you're filming for?
I'm always home team. Right now it's the Lynx. Usually it's always a home team. In the past, we've had the big tournaments at Target Center. That's totally unbiased, so that's shoot both teams. But yes, it definitely depends on what event is going on. For the most part, I am a homer. I do the Vikings games.
Mhm.
Not a Viking fan, but I've kind of grown to experience what Vikings fans like love about the stadium. So it's like getting entrenched and just understand like, hey, we need a great crowd shot after this, fourth down. Uh, we just, cross the line. I need a great shot, and so it's just getting that great moment kind of makes that fandom even go up even more. So I would say I'm a homer. I'm a big Minnesota sports guy.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the fans happy, especially when they go to the grocery store after a good win. Everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of need that. I don't like the people depressed out there.
Now, how much has the experience that you provide at games changed over the time that you've been doing it?
Well, I think I'm still kind of new. So that would be a better question for some of the older guys. They've been doing it for like 30 years. Some of the
Mhm.
people that I've worked with, so they're coming from the Metrodome, and a lot of things are, tethered. But now you're looking up and there's drones now. So, there's depth of field cameras that look great on our boards. And some of those cameras, get overtaken when you're shooting great quality content, like Timberwolves is a great, or even at the Twins, like after a home run, we're rushing out there with a really beautiful Ronin camera, and that moment looks really, really nice. And so I think those moments, the technology obviously has gotten better, but it's kind of we don't shoot it from a long lens
Mhm.
here. Now we
Mhm.
got somebody that runs on the field, you know what I'm saying, and get those beautiful walk-off moments and things like that. So I think the cameras are getting nice, and people are kind of understanding, like when they watch on TV, you watch a touchdown, and at the end of the touchdown, we get the celebration, but that celebration looks almost like a video game where people are like, hey, that looks kind of nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the depth of field cameras that kind of like play with your eyes, where it's kind of like, man, that's a beautiful moment right there. So I think that part is kind of changing a little bit. um, and it's just also, I think it goes about who the director and producer is and what they want as well. But I think the technology is getting up there. We got skyline cameras at the Twins
Mm-hmm.
that kind of go back and shoot that beautiful shot of the
Mm-hmm.
of the stadium.
Mhm.
And things are definitely changing on that part.
Now, if you recall, and like you tell our listeners and viewers this, you did a play-by-play of a game one time,
Oh my gosh,
and
3 times actually.
well, I know about the one for sure.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
But talk about that experience. How did you get to do that, and then preparing for it and actually do a play-by-play game?
Gopher women's basketball did like 3 years ago. Um, I kind of joked around like we would kind of fill out our availability every like do this. I want to be, so I'm always like, I'm just the camera, be the camera. I used to do a lot of replay before I got on camera. And then I joked around and said, I want to do some, commentating. And then they held me up to it, and they're like, oh no, we got you booked now. And I kind of like, oops, my bad, and kind of put myself into it. And then leading up to it, I was like, wow, this is getting really serious. I probably should do some homework. And so I think it was a Nebraska game, a Michigan game. There's one other game, but it's like there's a lot of homework, and so I got sent all the stats from the years in the past to what happened to the last game, and just studying that so you don't sound like a fool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it went pretty well, especially after the game started. But the lead up to that was pretty nerve wracking because you want all the stats. You want the narrative to be built up before the game even tips. When the game's tipped, then I was fine. Then I could just like, oh man, that was a beautiful pick and roll. Oh man, she missed the girl. Oh man, she got Kobe's on.
you're
Yes,
describing the live action.
I was just more so. It was more for our play by play person to like do her thing, and then I was kind of just waiting, and then like, hey, no, that's a great pick and roll. We should be looking for this person. I thought it was a lot easier when the game got started, but man, that homework felt like I was in college again. Yeah, I was trying to cram for a test. I don't know if I do that again, but it was really fun, especially on the basketball sense. I love hoop so much.
Now, are there any memorable moments as far as things that you shot? Like, are there some events or plays or whatever? Like, man, like you remember that you captured that. I know that.
Isn't that?
I know it's loaded, but
No, it's not actually. I don't think. I'm just kind of like I've always like wanted those like great viral moments, but a buddy of mine, Dave, he shot the Minneapolis Miracle. That's
okay.
He was right there.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought it was super awesome just being in that moment. I don't think I have a huge moment like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like just being at the U.S. Olympics, where it's just at the Target Center. And I think how serious the Olympic people treated, like, it was really, and seeing the guy from Channel, man, now I'm blanking my head. But it's like just seeing how serious they like took it. Shooting the Olympics was very, very different. It was a very different pace. I wasn't shooting no crowd. It was just all like performance, shoot the performance.
Mm-hmm.
Some other big moments. I'm trying to think. I do a lot of we just traded him Duran, Johan Duran for the Twins.
Yeah.
I got to run down and prepare for him to do the big walkout celebration. And when the stadium goes dark and everybody has their phones out, so that was like my thing. Like, Tramon, Duran's worn. All right, I'm running. Get down there and like cinematically try to walk him out and make it, make a perfect shot. And then he got traded, so that's over. A lot of some cool NBA playoff moments. Some good ant dunks. Probably a big moment that I thought was very cool that I like to think of myself as Ant dunked on Luca, and Ice-T was sitting right behind me, and he just had those Adidas commercials, and so as soon as he dunked, I turned around, and put the camera in Ice-T's face, and he like went straight into his actor, like, yeah, that was a murder right there. I thought it was super awesome. I was asking for the film of it just so I could have it. Yeah. I thought that was a super cool moment for myself, because all those Adidas commercials that they've been running out was super cool, and he was right behind me. It's Ice-T, so he's in his Law and Order SVU mode, and it was a good moment for myself, I think.
Now you have not talked about, but you are a father.
Yes.
And you've had your children are successful in their own right. Talk about that, their progress as becoming student athletes and moving into their way of doing things.
Well, I have a stepdaughter that just graduated. Well, she graduated from Dartmouth. So I always talk to parents who just started their basketball journey. You got to be patient. But we started at MOK in the St. Paul. Like, that's rec center, like that journey as a fourth grader, and then going all the way through getting a scholarship and going to Ivy League school and graduating and playing basketball. I thought it was like the pinnacle of like blessing. And I always try to tell parents, is like, some things like are going to work out in your favor. You just got to be a little bit patient. So that journey for Mia Curtis, she's going to graduate from Santa Clara. She's kind of getting her next degree at Santa Clara in the fall. And then, who knows what she's going to do, but it's just that journey of playing from rec, going to traveling, and then trying to find an AAU club to high school, that high level AAU, playing behind Paige Beckers. It was a journey that, I know, to me, is like awesome. It's when I look back at it, all the time that we spend, driving around And getting to those games, it pays off in the end, definitely. And then stepson Dante, he doesn't play sports in college, but he had a wonderful career too of just going from a little kid basketball all the way to high school sports. You love football, you love basketball. And then I have three little ones that are kind of going through that exact same journey. A little more patient now, but they got to see how it's done on a lot of sides of it. Of what I'm saying, like this team wants me, or this team doesn't want me, and like how do you perform? How do you kind of shift through that, navigate? And then we kind of have a high profile athlete in the family who plays in the NBA, and so they can see both sides of like, hey, this is like how you work for it, and this is like the end game. But it's all up to the kids' personal journeys. I don't think it's up to the parents' journey, up to my journey. It's really up to the kids to decide how they're going to do that. But no, my kids they're going through right now. It's like all levels right now. From the tiniest, I got a tiny 10-year-old daughter, and I got a 12-year-old son, and I got a 15-year-old, 14-year-old that's kind of going through, about to be a freshman at mini high. So it's like, we're going through all levels, and I still try to challenge them to not just play their sport that they love, still go out there and try other things, because being a multi-sport athlete is super important to me. Or just getting out there with your friends and playing wiffle ball, playing kickball is super important. So like those are the things that still challenge them to do.
How much of you are in them in terms of your spirit, the way you approach sports when you was growing up?
Well, I was as growing up, I wasn't very confident at all, and I think my kids are a lot more confident than I would ever was. I don't know if that's me like challenging them early on, but to me, it took me a while after high school. I played basketball at Johnson with Vern, and our 2002 squad was kind of like turning the corner, but we lost we lost in the section finals, and it was over. And then my high school basketball career is over, and it's kind of like, well, what next? So like, after high school basketball, I still continue to play basketball just like for fun. And I think the skills and the I think my camaraderie with my friends still kind of continue to build. And so staying around the game, learning like the street ball sense of the game, kind of my love for it kind of cultivated into, no, you still can play the game even though you're not, going here, going there, and things like that. And I try to instill that mainly my kids. Like if we're gonna have a family reunion, you better be ready to, say play against your cousins, and be able to play horse, because it's gonna happen. And if you're not confident to shoot that shot, then you're gonna get made fun of at the function. So that's the idea that I try to continue to build in everybody, not just my kids, but the kids I coach, and things like that. I think basketball is simple. I think other sports can. I like soccer, and I like flag football and things like that. It's just they only gravitate towards the basketball. So that's stuff that we kind of focus on. But to me, like I focus on the more street ball sense of the game. If I've never seen a Rucker Park game, but I was really, really, I don't know. I loved the game of New York street basketball, and how people are on the Raptors and just watching the game and like getting hyped for that, and not necessarily knowing like, no, this guy's a pro. No, it's just a local dude from down the street, and kind of getting it in. And that's why I try to instill in my kids, like, you can still be good. You just go to the park and go hoop. You don't need anything else. Just grab basketball, go hoop, grab your five, go your five, and let's check out. And that's how I try to look at the game.
As a parent, how much have you stayed being a parent and not what they call backstage parents, that they say you see more in sports these days, that parents are so pushy, and they get so pushy that almost like they trying to live through their child, things they couldn't do. Now they want the child to do it.
It's difficult.
And then it gets crazy because now they all on official stuff like that. How much have you seen that, and is it getting worse, or
I think it
leveling out a little bit?
I think it varies from parent to parent. I'm on my kids to stay active. I don't care what you're doing. Just be active. Like I said, get outside in the alley and go shoot. My son Tariq was just shooting right before I left. But I think doing that little things on your own is super important. But I'm on my kids. I'm going to be at the games. I'm going to be screaming as much as possible. Like I coach them. I'm going to be in the stands, and I think being active is super important. Whether you're a helicopter parent or you're backstage. My brother was he was kind of like he used to at the games he used to be back in the cut watching Jalen play. You know, but he had a camera and he could coach from way up here, but he would take it back. But then again, as soon as everybody went home, they were just in the driveway with it. There wasn't nowhere else. They were just in the driveway. Like I said, we were in the alley with it. And so I think it's still important to be there and still kind of push your kids. Not necessarily like live through them, but like you have this unique opportunity when you're young to kind of like be yourself, and I'm going to help you and support you through your journey.
Yeah, and your brother is who?
My brother is Larry Suggs.
Okay.
I am not a Suggs. I know the Suggses are super. I'm an honorary Suggs member, as he told me. But the Suggs family, especially in St. Paul, they have a legacy, and Larry kind of built his own. And I always thought Larry was one of the best basketball players ever, and he coached me when I was 8. He was 18. He started coaching early, and so he kind of understood when he started coaching, like I need to get kids early and get them at that point. So when he had his son, obviously he was on him with football and basketball and just kind of teaching him the game that way. So I always commended Larry on that side. So Larry and his homeboy Ulysses, I always thought they were the best basketball players that I've ever seen. And they've always like had that same street ball sense of they used to be at the Gus Mackers in Galtier Plaza.
No, they were
and
good.
Packed. And like that superstardom, like Larry couldn't walk down the street without people like, "Hey, Suggs, where you playing at next? Where you playing at next?" And I was a little kid, like looking up to him, and so I've always kind of looked up to my brother as like one of the best hoopers that I've ever seen and kind of hooped with. And so I think that kind of carries on through me, and I kind of regurgitate the exact same principles that he has to kids.
No, they're both good. I covered Larry when he went to Woodbury, and Ulysses when he was at Johnson.
Yeah.
And you think of when I think of Ulysses, I think of boy, if he would have been at another school, because he was very.
He was a vicious player, man. He was cold, man. Yeah. He had handles. He could shoot. He had an attitude. The coaching part, he loved so much. But no, he was a deadly person on the basketball court. And it's funny because he doesn't like you say, he doesn't instill that on his kids at all. He doesn't put that like you got to do this. He lets them be who they are. His daughters turned out to be a pretty good volleyball player right now.
Now, what team you don't do filming for?
I kind of keep it open, but right now it's the Wild. I have done it in the past, but I don't work the hockey games too much. That's probably the only one right now.
Too cold?
No, not at all. I'm just not on the staff over there, but I have done it in the past and probably get back over there. It's the freelance production world is very open, so I can hop around as long as my schedule permits.
And you are coaching.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So I started coaching again off a whim at Minnehaha Middle School. I think it was about like 2016. I started. Very easy going, coaching a lot of kids that were new to the game, which is easy for me. Hey, I can show you how to shoot a layup. I can show you how to throw that bounce pass. Play a little defense, and I think that was very, very easy for me to understand the game at that level and trying to teach them to enjoy the game and love it. And I'm a very lighthearted coach. I do use my voice very, very loud. I can throw it. But then again, it's that point where I'm just trying to get that love, like I said, that you can go and challenge your dad and play horse in the backyard and like, no, this is fun, Dad, and keep shooting and things like that. So I try to instill that. So I did that a few years, then kind of like moved up to C Squad 2 years ago, and I did JV last year. So be the coaching assistant this year on the Minnehaha varsity team this year.
So that's got to be, so when you're not coaching, you at a game.
Yeah, I'm at a game.
Pretty much you almost at a game, what, 6 days?
You're doing too much, Charles. I'm doing too much. You're right. You're doing too much. Yeah, I'm racing around usually trying to get to a Gopher game. I kind of, like lately being on the varsity, you got to be there 5 days a week, 6 days a week. Helping these young ladies on my end. Support them in anything they need. If you need a rebounder, so I like to be there as much as possible. My head coach, Kendall Givens, he allows me to sneak out. If I do gotta go, hey, I gotta go to the Timberwolves. Hey, you go ahead. So it's a blessing and a curse, but I am speeding a lot down the River Parkway a lot, trying to get to my games, man. Woo! Don't pull me over.
Now, I kid with you a lot.
Oh snap!
You always talking about the fan experience, and I'm gonna say it's too loud. But do fans come up to you and say things after games? They see you working, and
Yes.
why they, and good or bad, they say things to you after.
It's not a lot of bad, but they do thank me a lot, and I let them know that one, it's not that big a deal. But some people's bucket list is to be on that giant screen, and like that's my dream, and I'm like, you gotta have bigger dreams. It's not. I mean, yes, I'm gonna put you on for these 2 little seconds, all because my director, my ears, let me know that hey, we need that crowd shot. You just right here. So I'm gonna make your dreams come true, all because I need it. So I always joke around with people like, just stand right there. Hold on. A lot of kids love it. Obviously, I get harassed, not harassed in the bad way, but overtaken. Like baseball teams come to the Twins games and Demian, and it's pandemonium. I'm a very patient person, so I can handle it. But no, people say I make their day all the time. They're like, you got me on last year. Can you get me on again? Sure, whatever. I got you. And just kind of keep it moving like that. But no, I hear a lot of positive things. Just like, thank you so much for, getting my little son on, and thumbs up, keep moving. Yeah, I mean, it's a really cool job to be in a position to like change somebody's day, I guess. Yeah. Or even, I don't know, a whole year sometimes, because they come back up to me like, you've got me on every single year for the past 4 years. Like, I already forgot. But high five.
And is there any difference for you working a game if it's a regular game or it's a nationally televised game? Is there any difference in that?
Usually when them like the Timberwolves have just gotten good, and there are so many other camera guys. ESPN comes and they'll, like, if I have a spot to sit on the floor, I get pushed way to the side, way to the because they need all those spots. And so like when the playoffs come, it gets really, really tense in there. The Target Center security is tense. Everybody's a lot more tense, and it gets more. Yeah. So it's like we could be relaxed on a preseason game, but like when that game that matters, everybody's kind of on edge. Like some of those championship games, as a camera person, I can't even cross the little line. They like cut me off. Like, I can go on the court as much as you want, but as soon as the trophy presentation, like, nope, you got to step back. Like, dang, you just told me I could get. And so, I mean, a lot of things change like that when the seriousness of the game, whatever the game is, whatever the stakes are, it gets really, really. NBA's watching, commissioner may be in there, and things like Caitlin Clark is in the building, like, oh no. So I think that part, when the stakes are very, very high, then everybody gets really tense. Like, the league officials start coming down and making sure everything's in tip top shape. But for a regular old game, I get to do what I want, I guess.
And will you ever see yourself being a director of doing the games?
I would definitely see it the same way I did like the commentating. There's a lot of places that like let you try things out, and at the Gophers they'll let you. I mean, I've been there long enough to kind of like, yeah, if you want to try, be a technical director. So there's the director that talks, and then a TD, technical director, that pushes the buttons. So that's a really cool job that I've had my eyes on. Replay operator is another good one. There's a system that is pretty standard across America, probably globally, called the Dreamcatcher, that you can, if you learn this, now you're good like just about every stadium, big stadium. So you can learn how to be a replay operator. There's a lot of different jobs, but definitely I can see myself being a TD. The director part maybe will take some time. I don't know if I could do that, but I do like being out with the fans, like with the camera. I get, if I'm not on the camera, then I get kind of just like, what's going on out there? Let me get out there.
Yeah. Do you think it's important for people to see you, working the camera like you do, as a black man?
To me, no, not really. But I could see how I could. There's been a few times where like Best Buy has teens that come through, and like they stop and like, hey, can you just give them a moment? to inspire these young.
Right.
And so I've had those moments of like, oh, actually, what I am doing is very, very important. Let me tell you that you can do it.
Right.
There's a lot of teens that come by and they kind of ask about their like, well, why did you get that? And then at that moment, yes,
Right.
I'm like, oh, okay, my story could help you. So I always tell the kids like, if you're in high school, you should be doing your morning announcements.
Yeah.
You should be touching things, touching technology, putting your hands on things.
Right.
If you're at college, and most colleges have sports, they're going to need somebody, to hold a mic. They're going to need somebody to press a button to be a replay operator. So I always like, if you got aspirations to do this, you can start there. Now we're in a different age though, where you can pick up your camera phone,
Oh, my goodness.
and you can crisscross applesauce at a local high school game, and you can learn to edit and shoot. And then now everybody wants you to be at their stuff. So I think it's really, really important to like say that, not only be seen, but also just tell them,
Right.
just go do it,
Right.
and go get involved. And that's the important part.
Right. I didn't think about it like that until I was at and I tell Charles this all the time, particularly when I go to high school events. I'm like, everybody's a photographer. So when I started, it was just me showing up to, 30 years old, showing up at the games. And I was the only one everybody was looking at. I went to a Park Center ICO game last year, and there were like 10 people. We were all underneath the same basket.
Influencer.
We were all underneath the same basket. And then, of course, they were all young.
Yep.
Then, of course, they saw I was older, so they just started talking to me and that type of thing. So that's why I asked that question. I just want to know if people do that. Like, I don't run around, and see someone and go, hey, I'm black and you're black. Let's do that. Let me tell you what the camera, I don't do that.
Yes.
But they all saw me with the big lens and all that. But I couldn't believe it because I was like, man, it's like 10 cameras that, I'm saying, I'm fighting for room, like before, 50, 30 years ago, it was me. I was running all over the place. Now I'm like, and then the security and all that, hey, we got to move. I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
But, it's changed, it's kind of changed in that way where more people are seeing it because everything is visible. You go somewhere and people are, me and Charles always go like, everybody has a camera. We always want to take a picture after games, after we do interviews. But everybody's there taking the picture. The family's taking the picture. Everybody got their phones out. So it takes us a half hour to get the photo that we just want a photo of the person. So it's just interesting how that technology has done that. So when you do see everybody holding up their cameras and you really make something.
All you got to do, Mitch, is post it on your social real quick. And then, now you an influencer, man. Then they want you at the game, baby. You there.
Now, do you do any road games?
I do not do any road games. I'm a local guy.
Have you thought about it?
Yes, definitely. There's I have a few connections that just kind of like as being a family man, it's kind of difficult
right now,
to bounce out of my kids and like, hey, I got to get on the road. But there are opportunities that are definitely there. I've gotten asked like, we can get on the road and go do this. Now, necessarily, I might not be on camera. I might be a utility rapping chords and things like that. So it's like those are certain things that you can keep graduating and keep going up in different directions that I definitely have thought about, but just right now is not the time, I would say.
Right.
Any downtime for you? We talked about that this week. Almost everybody's out of town and they're not playing games for a stretch of games. When you get those downtime, what do you do?
Oh man, I'm watching the games still. I'm watching a lot of WNBA. Like I'm a big girls basketball as I try to pump up as much as possible. I think it's a bubbling the thing that's been going on for a while. It's just especially like I said, my daughter played behind Paige Beckers and seeing her stardom and like going different things. I'm like, oh, this is about to erupt. And I think it's headed in the right direction. So I'm watching a lot of games. I will turn on a baseball game, like if the Twins are playing the Yankees right now. I'll turn it on in the background. I'm not a big baseball head, but I'll support them. I'm usually watching the games, just messing around, or just kind of shooting basketball in the back of the alley with my kids.
I have to say that I've been impressed with the camera work on the Twins games this season. I know they moved into a different whatever network, whatever they're doing. I was really impressed how they seem to have a better angle. They're showing better angles and cleaner angles.
I got you.
And like I know something about camera angles that I hadn't seen before.
Okay.
It was done when it was just when Fox was doing
Yep.
it, or whoever was owning the team at that time. So I like that. I like they seem to have that way of doing that. So I enjoy. It seemed to come out better because it seemed like it's HD. It's like it's more
I got you.
HD
Yes.
quality than it was before, so you almost like you could see it, you feel that you're there, as opposed to before you was watching on television. Now you almost feel that you're there, and they have it. That's the only part of I'll enjoy.
I pass it along. So like I said, I'm the in-house, and that would be like the truck guys. So those are the people that show up even earlier, and they're doing a lot of the people in the booth. But those truck guys are pretty good at their jobs. They've been doing it a lot, and they travel a lot. Some of those guys, they'll go to the NHL, what I'm saying, championship, and come back. Like my guy Ed, he's always shooting high home, so he always gets, and he can follow a ball like at the crack.
Wow.
And follow it way out into the outfield and things like that. Those are skills that I don't even know if I could possess. But it takes a lot of years and experience to kind of be able to do that. Some of those guys they'll go to the golf. What we just had that golf tournament here, the 3M. They'll go do that. So everybody kind of like moves around a lot. But there's some guys that strictly do the truck, is what we call it, the TV show stuff. And I kind of typically stay in house for now.
Now, do you ever find yourself watching a game? You're at home watching a game in TV. No, just watching a game. You're at home and you go, and you might go, "Oh man, what a great shot!"
Yes.
Do you ever do that? And then, or you might go, or do you ever go, "Why are you shooting this?"
The latter. Usually, I'm like, why is your lens dirty? That's my biggest thing.
Okay.
Clean your lenses. If y'all go clean your lenses. Or what I'm saying, if your camera's tilted and things like that.
Yeah.
So I'll go, if you're watching a lot of games, sometimes people's like, you shoot up in the lights and the lens is dirty. It's like my guy Shaler, he will be in my ear like, you gotta clean your lens. So at home, I'm looking at that. But other than that, it's just great moments. Really, you want to be there for the moments, and there's a lot of still photographers that I sit next to, and they're all trying to capture that one like that.
Oh yeah.
So that is the probably the biggest thing that I enjoy too, is like that you can, like, if somebody's coming up to dunk and you want that boom and you want that. So we always kind of like fight for replays. So like I said, people don't know, I'm trying to appease my replay operators, really. So my director's in my ear, but my replay operators, they need to build a package later down the line. And so so they're like, hey, can you go back and shoot that? Or, hey, that's a great shot, Tramon. So when we're watching sports and we can replay it, even if it's like, a fight in the stands, you want to be there and you want a good wide angle just so, the referees can, replay it back. So a lot of it has to do with the replay. Like, they're really, really important.
Yeah, I was just wondering how you looked at stuff because you might as well just say it. Well, me being journalists.
Yes.
And then I'm a photographer. I'll look at a picture and go, man, I wish I would have got that shot, or that shot. And then, me and Charles will read other articles and go like this, man, what is this dude writing? What is this person writing? Or were we at the same game? Or whatever, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're doing the same thing, looking at our stuff.
Yes, of course.
What do you think they're doing? So.
Now, any regrets not being a hip hop DJ?
Not really. Yeah. Because you still can. I still can if we can do it here. Right, we can do it right here. No, we can't do it right here.
Hey, the best rap I can do is "School is Cool." So I don't know.
No, we can't do it.
That's very true, though. We do have. Hey, man, Charles ain't with it.
But you mentioned
Oh my God.
The inability of hip hop making it
Yes.
in this town.
Yes.
And also even good R&B.
Mhm.
I mean, over the years they've had attempts.
Yeah.
Smooth jazz had attempts. And why is this town so hard
Well,
for that to make it?
when I was at the radio station, it was the people that are trying to sell the advertising had a really, really tough time selling outside of the radio station. So yes, the music, people love music, but we also have to have events. It was really tough to put those events in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and people not showing up.
Okay.
So then they kind of like lose sponsors, and then it's like we're not making any money. Let's just cut this. So they didn't like try very hard. I don't think. I think maybe you put like there's some people of color probably go do that, but there was a lot of people that are like, yeah, we're gonna go try to go put this event at so and so nightclub, and they're already thinking about the violence, and like no, people are pulling their sponsorship. So that's why I always say like the thought kind of like turned people off immediately, and then so they have to go another way. And they've tried a couple of times to do that. We used to put on like different type of events, like we used to do like Rip the Runway, where we try to have like a fashion show, but it was like real hip hop. It was real. We try to figure out ways to get those advertisers, and it was really difficult for people to come out of their house and support. I don't know how it is now, but I know that was the thing that we always ran into. Like nobody outside of the like listening to the music didn't support, the radio station. So then the advertisers wouldn't come, and then it's like, oh, whatever, we'll move on. We're going to, I'm not even gonna say no other station's name, but
yeah. I remember because when B96 first came on, it was people thought that was going to be the station.
Yes,
it's going to make it's going to make it as much as Camel Jazz on the non-commercial side. That was going to be on the commercial side.
I mean, on the morning show side of things, we really, really tried to be that hit. We had, Shannon was there, and Danny Starr, B Right, Trey the producer, Tony Fly. We really, 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 really tried to make a really fun morning show, and then that's how we kind of ended up with that TV show, because we kind of like became a little tight, little knit family, and it's just things, whatever the owners talked about, everything went away, but it also placed me in this position right here.
Wow. You're not as bad a person as I thought you would be.
Yeah. Let's talk about Golden Gopher. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about Golden Gopher?
Oh my
God! You did put me on camera one time.
I did?
Yeah, you want
on accident?
No, remember
it was purpose.
They was honoring me.
Oh man, you're a Hall of Famer. I have to do that.
Okay. Well,
and then Goldie come over.
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about that. All right, cut that part off. You don't want to talk about Goldie.
He's not cutting that part out.
Hey, Charles loves mascots, you guys. If you a mascot, come up here. Give him a big hug. That's what me and Charles joke about for the people.
Oh man, yeah.
We joke about that. His love for mascots goes through the roof. So every time I see him, I always tell him I'm gonna send so and so over.
I know the last. I was at the WNBA All-Star game in Indianapolis, and they all 12 mascots was.
Oh, he's sweating.
And the knucklehead from New York was jumped right in my way.
Oh wait, no, I know you're not talking about Ellie the elephant.
Whatever.
The Ellie the elephant. That's an icon.
Okay.
Like he knows the name. Like he knows the name, but the mask. You know the name of the mask?
But I got on my nerve.
Oh man.
Hey, this is what I came up here for, just to get him.
Oh my God! All jumping up. I'm trying to watch jumping up and down, all that stuff.
Yes. If we ever get to honor Charles, the WMA game, want all mascots to attend, even the new one. Valkyries just got a new one.
They was there too. Well, they got a new one.
They got a new Valkyries. Got a new one. It's like violent.
That was ridiculous.
Come on, kid, it's for the kids and you.
Okay.
All right, my bad.
I look at it this way. We don't have enough time to talk about all the issues I've had with.
Oh man.
That's a whole nother
Golden Gophers.
Part two.
That's part two. That's part two. The mascots are part two, baby. And there are plenty of stories. Let me tell you.
Yes.
Oh man.
But as we wrap things up, we always invite our guests to speak to our listeners and share with them pearls of wisdom. whatever you wish to tell them that you want to leave them with, we give you that opportunity now.
Oh man, let me see what I would like to say to the audience. I would like to say, don't be so hard on yourself. I would say, also enjoy the opportunity that you're given. You always have an opportunity to make somebody's day brighter, and that's a really simple thing to do. I like to. It kind of comes from my granddad, Grandpa Van Leer. He likes to joke around with people, like when you go to the grocery store and talk to people in the line, and I think sometimes like that can make people's day brighter. My mom does it. I do it. I think that get the gap. So if you have that ability just to make somebody's day brighter, you got to take the opportunity. If it's a dad joke, or you know what I'm saying, you're just helping somebody out. Like icebreaker. I like a big icebreaker. So if you have the opportunity to make somebody's day brighter, go ahead and do it, y'all. Ain't no time like the present. Cut. That work?
We didn't finish yet, man.
Dang.
This ain't your show.
Felt like it is. Oh, B96. Oh, B96. My bad.
We really appreciate you coming
we do.
tonight.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Always has fun. In fact, it's proud to see you working.
Thank you so much.
Games, because not a whole lot of us doing it.
Yes, it is.
So when you see people in those kind of positions that don't get featured or don't get recognized as much, it's always good to see one of us doing that. So proud of you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for having me. I'll see y'all in 2 days, right?
Maybe.
Come on.
You don't do baseball like I do, so you'll see me.
Well, yeah, I won't be there.
Yeah, come to the party at the pole, y'all. So down in the right field flagpole is where I station at. I call it the party at the pole because I just try to make people happy, especially after Twins just traded 40% of their peoples.
Yeah.
We
I'm trying to keep the people out. So if you want to come visit me at the Twins, I'm at the right field.
Here we go, another show. That's another show.
Man, yeah.
I don't know about baseball, so I'm just like, hey,
oh man,
I'm still gotta play, don't we? I was in the locker room that day.
Take me.
Talking to people, and then 2 hours later they gone. Woo. I mean, it's just like this.
That's the camera work I need to be doing.
Man, that was a crazy day, man.
Man.
Because none of them didn't know that. They were they was on eggshells. They didn't know what was gonna happen. Man.
No, there was a moment that I come to the ballpark early and we had the fax cameras just checking, and I think I caught Duran being notified that he was out of there. And he was like, I could see the two players like, check your phone, like, look.
Yeah.
And I was like, spicy. And I was over in this hard cam, like checking it. And it's like, it was a real moment. Like, no, you're out of here. You got to go pack your stuff up.
And they took his walk-up stuff to Philadelphia.
Well, we gave it to him.
Whatever. I don't know what they're doing. Shit.
And the Philly fans love it.
They got on my nerves cutting the lights up, but that's neither here nor there.
That's me, Mike getting shot.
We thank you for joining us
tonight.
This is Blacklight on Sports. My name is Charles Hallman.
I'm Dr.MitchellPalmerMcDonald.
And we invite you to come back again and invite you to also to read us in the paper and online. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I can't do that. You can do that.
You can do that. Hey! You can do it. As long as you don't bring no mascots in here, we good. Just show you.